Hello and welcome. I am Conan Librarian with Conan's EDC, Easy Dad Carry, and today I want to talk about winter EDC. Now, I've been thinking a lot about what I'm going to do for my EDC, my sling bag, and what I'm going to carry, and as I was doing some looking around online, winter EDC seems to mean something different to me than it does a lot of folks. A lot of winter EDC has to do with changing your color scheme to blackout, changing the type of handgun, maybe changing up your blade. It really just kind of seems like gear rotation as opposed to actually being prepared for cold or snow. So I am on my way to a Dollar Tree right now, maybe two depending. Of course, they're on every corner like McDonald's now, so it's pretty close if I do have to go to a second one. And my goal is to spend $10 or less. Scratch that. Dollar Trees are now $1.25. So 10 items or $12.50 or less to winterize my EDC, and hopefully I find a few things that not only are useful to me, but that you might pick up too, just because I don't want to buy a new titanium something. I don't need to change up my flashlight. What I need is stuff that's actually going to, well, be there for me if I'm suddenly walking around in snow or going on a hike or whatever it might be, having to shovel out my car. So let's do some shopping, and then we're going to cut to the workbench and see what I found. Back at the workbench, what I've got here is my current favorite pocket EDC loadout. The reason I'm showing this off, and I've covered most of these items in depth, this is a new addition, a Mangarista wallet. I'm actually testing this for another video. This is my new EDC wallet. It's got a few things in it, so look for that video coming up. So far I like the thing, but I'll have a full review on it. The point of this though is that these are the items I have on me pretty much every day. These items, and of course, my dad bag. I did a video about that. You can find it in my channel. The point is though, with these items, they really only change if I need to change the functionality of what I'm doing. So maybe a larger multi-tool, maybe I'll drop the ratcheting bit and just carry this because I want a bigger Phillips. Plus, said before, I'm loath to use the actual Phillips on that and strip it out. My knife, I love this is the Thug 2.0 from Civivi, but say I might be doing a hike or going through the woods or something like that, and I want something bigger. The point is, these items I carry for function, and when it comes down to it, these are all winter items, summer items, fall items. I'm not going to change the color. I'm not going to change over to a black SOG because it's winter. I'm not going to swap things out for a season. What I'm going to do is, like I said, look for functionality. So I was in fact successful. I know I said I was going to hit a couple, and I ended up actually doing it, hitting a couple Dollar Trees, and I found 10 items that I'm going to add to my EDC in some combination, maybe not all at the same time or together, but that I'm going to slowly add and experiment with. And honestly, I think they'd be pretty useful for a lot of people, especially if you've been trying to figure out what you want to do with your winter EDC. If maybe you haven't thought of some of this stuff, yeah, let's take a look here. Alright, first up, lotion. My hands get super bad. I get really bad, is it eczema? Super dry skin in the winter. Sometimes it's my hands, my face, whatever it is. Just some lotion is fantastic to keep me from getting super cracked, especially if I spend a lot of time outside. It gets really bad. So after that, in the same vein is chapstick, and I have some that I like. The reason I picked this up though is I really like the SPF 15, and a lot of lip balms or chapsticks now have SPF something. A lot of people don't think about the fact that you can absolutely get burned in the winter, so having some chapstick for me, which again, like I said, I need the lotion that I don't always carry when it's I guess more humid during the year, but when it gets dry, my lips crack just as bad as my knuckles or my hands, so chapstick is a must for me. Alright, next up is tissues, and I like these guys. They're fun, and it means I've got something to hand to my kid. But tissues are, in fact, super important during the winter. I know I am not the only one whose nose runs, and I hate having to look for them. I hate wiping my nose on my sleeve. So tissues, this whole pack was only $1, and one's gonna go in my bag, one will go in my car. I'll keep them at work. tissues are way more important than I think people give them credit for, because you're always needing to blow your nose when it's cold out. Alright, and this one might be more of a personal choice, and I only grabbed it because I realized I don't have a good cone. My son made off with my comb, but a comb, you saw in the beginning of this video, once winter hits, I'm always wearing a hat. I'm usually a guy that wears a hat anyways, but I start wearing, knit hats, warm hats, and I get super bad hat hair. So a comb to be able to take care of my hat hair is actually super important for me, just because I hate my hat coming off and I look like a completely disheveled mess. I should probably carry one anyways for the kiddos, especially my son, but just having a comb when my hair is, especially this time of year, going to get a lot messier. Again, this is kind of a personal choice, and maybe not everyone would actually care about something like that, but it's nice to be able to spruce up when you need to. So, alright, a comb. Okay, so next up, hand warmers and feet warmers. It boggles my mind how little I see these. And there are some really cool ones out there. You can get electronic ones that you can recharge, this and that. But I mean, this weighs nothing. It fits anywhere. I don't understand, even if you carry one of these little foot guys just by itself, the fact that it has an adhesive on here, you can actually stick this in your coat. Say you want to keep your chest warm, or you can stick this more than just in your shoes themselves. So hand warmers themselves are absolutely essential. So I may have cheated a little bit because I bought, well, actually they had them on sale. These were 2 for $1.25. I got these just to have, but just to kind of show off that these hand warmers and toe warmers are an absolute must for me personally in the winter, because you never know. They are warm forever. You can hand them off. They're just great. So hand warmers are a must. Okay, so the next one may seem a little weird, but hear me out. It is shower caps. So the reason I thought about a shower cap is, well, my head gets cold. Like I said, I am always wearing a hat, but you also lose a lot of heat from your head. Also, most hats that I wear are not impact waterproof, and I doubt most people's hats are technically waterproof. But if you put this on your head under your cap, it becomes an insulator. It makes your head suddenly waterproof, and it captures and keeps a lot of heat. So maybe it seems silly, and maybe you're not going to like that sound that it makes. And yeah, this is a cheap one. This was a pack of 8 of them for $1. But the fact is, something this simple can help retain a lot of body heat and keep your head dry. And when it comes to winter, dry is more important to me than just warm, because you can always warm up. It is much harder to dry off than it is to just warm up. So yeah, shower cap. I really hadn't thought about something like this until I saw it as I was walking around, and I don't know why I haven't carried these in the past, because my head is always cold. So a shower cap. Okay, so in the same vein of a shower cap are shoe covers. These, however, for me, now that I'm, once I was looking at them and trying to figure out just what I might want to add, for me, these aren't going over my shoes. These are going over my socks and in my boots or my shoes. Especially if say I'm at work and I haven't planned accordingly, and I've got to stand in a couple inches of snow to clean off my car. Say I'm gonna go for a walk or whatever it is. Just a liner like this that can suddenly help seal, because like I said, most of my shoes are not waterproof. It becomes an insulating layer, just like the shower cap was. Just like the shower cap was to trap heat on my head, I have something to keep my feet warmer and insulated, as well as keeping water out. Now, I don't know how well a box of $1 liners like this are, but this to me absolutely is a good option and a good way to suddenly, keep yourself dry. And I cannot be the only one who, when I was a kid and I was gonna go play out in the snow, I cannot be the only one whose mom put grocery bags under the gloves or whatever to keep your hands warm. So this is kind of a more upgraded version of the grocery bags under the mittens, but at the same time, the theory is it's dry, it's insulated, why not? So these boot liners, or shoe liners, whatever they are absolutely going to be going in my kit. Alright, so this one is latex gloves. Now, for $1, these aren't amazing. However, just like I already talked about with the shower cap and the shoe liner, now most people have pretty good gloves, but that being said, I don't always have them with me. I don't always think about it. A latex glove, whether it's latex or nitrile or whatever it is, something like this under even just a crappy pair of gloves. And actually, I got these. I'll pop these open here too. These were also there. I'm not putting them in the kit because most people have gloves. I doubt that it's revolutionary to own gloves, but these say it was $1, and they're supposedly fleece gloves. But the point is, whatever your material, God, these things aren't great, but it's more the example itself. Whether these gloves get soaked or not, I have an insulating layer below that, because anyone who's worn latex or nitrile gloves for any length of time can tell you your hands definitely get hot and sweaty in these. But it also means that you're retaining heat, you're insulating, and even if your gloves get wet, your hands stay dry, which again is very important when you're trying to retain heat and stay warm and warm back up in the winter. So regardless of what kind of gloves you have, I always say carry some gloves. And I have good medical grade ones in my first aid kit, but those are for first aid. So while I don't think I'll be using these specifically, these are going to go under my sink and be used for some project at some point. Actually, I'm not a big fan of the latex, more of the nitrile, but the point is, latex gloves are some layer like this, just like the shower cap, just like the booties, are good insulators that can really make a huge difference, again, when you just suddenly need to, well, you weren't really prepared and you have to brush your car off. So yeah, gloves, absolutely. Okay. Next item up, sunglasses. Now these were literally $1 cheapo sunglasses, and I actually have, for the purpose of this video, I was going to show them off, and honestly, I couldn't find them, so I just picked up some cheap sunglasses. These aren't going to ride in my bag, but these are definitely going to go on my car. They're big enough to fit over my regular glasses that I wear. And sunglasses are incredibly important for me personally in the snow. I like to have them, my clip-ons that go on my glasses, very dad motif, the clip-ons that I wear usually. However, in order to have something extra, to have a backup, especially, like I said, since I can't find the things, a $1 pair of sunglasses can make a huge difference when you just need to keep the sun out of your eyes, whether you've lost something. Yeah, $1 shades, really not a bad idea, because also I am loath to spend a ridiculous amount of money on sunglasses since I have prescriptions. I hate the idea of prescription sunglasses, glasses I literally only wear sometimes, and I can't do transition. I hate that lens. So I'm sure a lot of people own sunglasses, and having sunglasses for the snow is not revolutionary. However, I want to show off that you can get a cheap pair of something, you can get a backup that even if all you need to do is throw it on while you're, like, again, shoveling snow or whatever it is, cheap sunglasses, absolute must, just as a decent backup, even if they're just going in your car. Okay, and last but not least is candy, specifically chocolate. So the reason I did this, something that you may see a lot if you read anything about emergency preparedness, especially for winter, is they say to have some sort of calories, especially chocolate, dark chocolate more specifically, in case of emergencies, because it's still edible when it's frozen. The reason I got these is, one, I like these. Two, I couldn't really find a dark chocolate at the dollar store that didn't look terrible. And three, they come individually packed, because I find too, and maybe it's just me, maybe I'm a little bit weird, but when I am super cold, giving myself a little bit of something to concentrate on, or a little bit of shock, or a little bit of sugar, you take a bite of chocolate and you are focused. It focuses you. And sometimes when you are super cold and just shivering, sometimes you need something to focus on besides just the super terrible cold that you're dealing with. So yeah, chocolates. I think that's all 10 of them. So let's do some final thoughts here. Nope. Okay, so what I'm going to do as I talk is I'm just going to put together my little winter prep bag. And this is going to go in my dad bag pretty easy, or if I want to hand it off to someone. Like I said, the problem I was really having was that EDC should be functional, not just because it's cool and because it's getting you there, but it should do something more for you than just look cool. And EDC, like I said up at the top when I was actually driving out to the dollar store, I don't want to spend a ton of money, and in this case, I really haven't. And more than likely, what I'm going to do as the season goes on is I will probably replace some of these items with something more functional or better quality. I doubt these booties are going to last more than even just one trip out in the snow, and there's nothing wrong with that. I doubt this shower cap is really going to survive that long, but then again, I put this on my head, put my hat down. My hat doesn't come off when I'm outside, so it's gonna last while I'm outside, and that's important. And that's all I really need. I'm not looking for some crazy loadout change. Let's see what kind of comb I want to put in there. Yeah, I'm not looking for some crazy EDC loadout change. I don't need a get home wilderness survival. What I really need is when it's cold and I didn't plan, or when it dumped a lot more snow than I thought it would, I need to be able to get through my day when it's cold and snowy just the same as when it's hot outside, or just the same as if I'm just taking the kiddos around town and need to keep them busy. There's no reason to get so crazy about it when all I really need is to survive for my day. And if I look at this, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Am I missing an item? I might be. I've got my, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I still need to put something in here. Oh, yeah, the gloves themselves. And you know, there's a better way to pack these if you really want to get into it, and I'll show these off again. I love these little medication bags. You get 50 of them for $1 or $2 at most drugstores or Walmart. So maybe I'll take this shower cap out so it doesn't get torn apart. Really compact it down in there to make it easy. So also, if someone says, hey, I've got to go do this thing, like, hey, it's raining out there, take this, and I can hand that off. Plus it keeps everything not only from tearing itself up, but keeps everything kind of secure. So there we go. Oh, the 10th thing, that's right, was my cheap sunglasses. Whoop. That's also my mic. Have that here too, just want to say hi. So I hope that this philosophy doesn't seem ridiculous, and I know there's a lot of stuff not in this. Again, this is not an emergency preparedness bag. This is not a stranded in the wilderness bag. This is not a stuff hits the fan bag. This is literally a kit for just adding to my EDC while it's bad weather, while it's winter, while it's cold and snowing and rainy and wet. That makes my life that much more survivable. That makes my day that much easier. And even if I don't carry this around with me, I now have a kit that I can throw in my bag, I can throw in my car, I can throw anywhere that I'm going and be set. So yeah, that's my take on winter EDC. I hope that this has been somewhat thought-provoking. I hope that it makes sense, and I hope that you consider doing more than just blacking out your gear for the winter time. I hope that you consider really thinking about the practical things and really consider going to the Dollar Tree before spending $500 to change up your style for the winter. So as always, I really appreciate you spending your time with me. Like, follow, subscribe, share, and more importantly, leave a comment. I love talking about this stuff, If you look at my other videos, you see I comment back on everything because EDC is important to me for a lot of reasons, but it's the conversation around it is the most important part to me, because none of us are going to improve how we carry or what we carry if we don't improve our knowledge. And I've said it 100 times, you know, a tool is only as good as the knowledge you have to use it, and that goes for any item, whether it's sunglasses or a shower cap, doesn't matter. So thank you again, stay safe, be prepared, and have a great day.